Apothecary. Apothecary.
This is a champion guide for Apothecary, one of Raid Shadow Legends' best healers that you will get for early game and mid game. Some players also use him onto the end game. He hails from the High Elves faction, and you find him is a rare right there, and is the best in his class, the best healer for early game and mid game. In this video, we'll talk about his builds, his masteries, where you use him best, where he doesn't really shine, and we'll do a champion rating, and also at the end you could suggest the next champion build that we should do. I'm kind of a mid-game to end-game player, so my masteries and champion guide will be tailored towards the early game players and mid-game players. So if I scroll through and find my Apothecary, some players get him in the first week, in the second month. Some players go as long as 6 months to 7 months or even a year before getting this champion. By the time they get him, they no longer need him for anything. So the first thing we'll look at is his build. All you need on this champion is speed. Because he's a healer of your team, he needs to be faster than everybody. He needs to at least go 2 times before they can take a turn, if that's even possible. But the faster you can make this champion, the better, because your champions will not go down. And if you remember, in the beginning of the game, you really don't have somebody who will keep you alive in terms of a revive champion. It's only when you go about 60 days up to 180 days that you begin to get those champions that revive your champions who go down during a battle. So Apothecary is there to make sure nobody goes down, because if you're constantly healing, you won't take enough damage to die. That's the whole point of putting a 3-piece speed set on him. Remember, speed is a 2-piece set, so this is 1 set, 1, 2, another set, and another set. Every set gives you a 12 extra speed bonus. That's why you need to put a set on him. Besides the speed set, you also have the bigger version of speed set, which also includes a shield for just that champion that is wearing it, which is the divine speed set. If you've been farming the campaigns, where do you get this from? Arena. Yeah, you get it from Arena rewards. At the end of each week, when the Arena rewards drop, you might get these sets. That's another set that is also awesome for Apothecary. Now, these speed sets that I'm showing you are for one of his best builds, which is the role of a healer in dungeons, in campaign runs, in arena runs, in Doom Tower runs, in faction war runs. If you need to build this champion for clan boss, speed set is not gonna save you from the damage that a clan boss does. So fine, Apothecary might go fast enough to heal other champions, but he might get so hit with damage from the clan boss that he might go down or begin to heal himself, which will mean those champions will not heal themselves. Everybody knows for the clan boss, all you need is lifesteal at the early game and the mid game. At the end game, you usually switch out your set and you have other ways to counter the clan boss damage. But there is nothing wrong with putting Apothecary in a lifesteal set, which is a 4-piece, and also a 2-piece speed set, to make sure he heals as he does a little damage to the clan boss, and also has enough time to heal other champions that are going low also. So that's not really ideal. A lot of people build Apothecary with speed and they don't have the chance to now switching out for lifesteal. So you have to really decide, where do you want to use this champion? Do I want to use him in clan boss or in dungeons and every other place in the game? So imagine him working with speed set in every part of the game, but then only clan boss requires him to be on lifesteal. I'm not saying lifesteal will not work good on other parts of the game. It will, but it's better to be on speed than on lifesteal. So whichever sets you have that gives you the best gear, the best stats, use it. Remember, you can always use this filter and use this fitting room to find out which sets serve you the best before you apply them. So you can try on the sets without actually applying them. Try on and then see their stats before you go ahead and equip it. That's a good tip. Now let's see what I have on mine. I went to my gears. I did a filter for speed artifacts with a substat of speed, and I found those items. So this is 6 speed, 11 speed. I currently have one with 11 speed. So basically I'm filtering for a speed artifact with speed substats. That is what this filter did. A speed artifact, I don't need any primary, just speed substats. For the weapon, for the helmet, I did the same thing, speed helmet with speed substats, 14. If you're early game, of course, you do not have any helmet or weapon that has a speed substat. It's fine to put any of those speed artifacts on them that has maybe HP and defense, because this champion will need to stay alive to heal others. So you need a lot of HP and defense. All right, I keep going on about speed because that's the best way to build a healer in the game. But there's nothing stopping you from using other sets in the game. He does not need accuracy for any of his skills. His first skill does a 3-hitter. He hits at random, so he doesn't hit just one person 3 times. He hits 3 different enemies. Sometimes he might hit one enemy twice. So this skill is really good for the Fire Knight because it brings down the Fire Knight shield faster. Since it also does a 3-hitter, he requires the mastery they call Giant Slayer, because he has the chance to proc Giant Slayer 3 times, sometimes 2, sometimes 1, just like a 3-hitter should. Let's do the skills before we come to the masteries. His main skill is his A2, which is heals a target ally by 35% HP. So the question is it 35% of his HP or the target's HP? I'm not sure. But I feel this will be based on the target's HP, not Apothecary's HP. This heal can be critical. This means that if you build this champion with 100% crit or a high percent crit, 65, 80, the heal can be, instead of 35%, can be twice that amount. Can be 60%, can be 80%, depending on how much crit is done. So that's why you should build some critical rate into this champion, so he can do twice that amount of heal, and basically heal a ally champion max of their health with 1 heal, instead of healing them twice before they can be full. He's also known for this skill, which places a 30% increased speed buff on all allies for 2 turns and fills their turn meter by 15%. 30% increased speed is the biggest speed buff you can place on a champion, and the lower one is 15% speed. And for turn meter, 15% is okay. It's not as good as other champions in the game, but because he places 30% speed and also a turn meter, everybody gets their turn really, really fast, especially if the enemy don't have a speed buff on them or a turn meter increase on them. So Apothecary goes first, places increased speed and also turn meter increase by 15%. It makes sure your allies takes the next turn. That is why he's really good for the arena. So a lot of people who build him in early game will use him for the arena. He has a speed aura of increased defense in dungeons by 21%. At the early game, when you're building your champions, you don't really have a lot of defense against those bosses in the keeps and some the early game dungeons. But with this 21% defense increase, it makes sure your champions don't go down in just 1 hit. So that's really, really good. A lot of people will put him as the lead in most of their dungeon runs. So now that we've seen his artifacts, let's take a look at his masteries. There are 2 ways to go about building an apothecary. 2 ways. each of the two ways always involve you building him in on the offense tree. You need the offense tree for Apothecary because he doesn't do much damage. What I mean that he doesn't do much damage is because his base attack, his skill is based on attack, which is this skill, damage based on attack. This is the only skill he does that will do damage to the enemy. The rest of the time he's doing this heal or he's doing this increased speed. These two skills, A3 and A2, do not do any damage. That's why most people don't even take the attack mastery 3 because they feel he's taking 3 turns and doing damage once out of 3 turns. So if you feel that Apothecary does not need to do any damage in your team, there is nothing wrong with going with defense and support 3. But if you feel that you're going to use him in the clan boss or a lot of bosses in the dungeons, you should always build an offense tree on him, because that one hitter which hits the boss 3 times will do giant slayer procs, which is the main reason people build the offense tree on him. If you're going to leave your Apothecary on level 50 and not really push him to 60, then you will not really benefit from the giant slayer procs. If you're going to push him to level 60 and unlock this last level, that's when you really need this. Now, the support tree is also important for him because he's a healer, and you can see this increases his max HP. This increases the amount of healing that he can, the value of heals that he can give by 5%. His turn meter will be increased by 10%, a chance to increase his turn meter by 10% for buffs that he casts when they expire. And also this skill that increases the base set stats. You can see he's running all speed sets, right? So this will be very, very beneficial for him. It's multiplicative, not additive. This is not really good. If you're a beginner player, please choose this skill, which decreases the turn meter when this champion hits the enemy for the first time. So this is really, really good for bosses, especially in the spider. So when he hits the spider for the first time, the turn meter of the spider reduces. You remember, the spider takes a turn and heals up by, gobbling up the spiderlings. So you want to use Apothecary as one of the people that can decrease the spider's turn meter at the first turn. So that's a skill. This is now useful. That's what I mean. I only selected this skill because I'm no longer a beginner player, and I have other champions I use for the spider, and I use Apothecary for my Doom Tower. And there are bosses in the Doom Tower who, if you use this skill and reduce their turn meter, they will increase their turn meters or stun you. So that is the reason why I did not use this. If you know, you'll use your Apothecary for bosses in the Doom Tower who hate turn meter decrease. You touch their turn meters, they increase and stun you. So that's the reason why I did not select Evil Eye. Evil Eye does not help in clan boss either. So this build you see right here will help in the clan boss. But if you really want to build your Apothecary as a clan boss specialist, then you will go defense 3 and end with somewhere like counter attack. This is where you belong. Counter attack. So whenever the clan boss hits the Apothecary to a particular level, he has a chance to counter attack. Whenever Apothecary, somebody on the team is stunned, Apothecary has a chance to counter attack. So these are the 2 counter attack masteries you might need for Apothecary if you're building him as a clan boss specialist. Of course, you need offense tree also. This build you see right now, it's over months old, and I've not revised it in any way, but it is still really, really good and active for a lot of people. I have, like I said before, I have speed substat and almost everything. Even my banner has a speed substat. I don't really need attack on Apothecary, but because this banner has triple speed, that is why you see me put it on him. For my total stats, you see his speed is 259, which is all I focused on. But luckily for me, I got up to 44,000 HP also. Attack is not required, but his defense looks really, really good. This defense can at least handle some early game clan boss runs like brutal, 2005, 3000 defense for brutal clan boss. My crit rate, I really didn't focus on it because I didn't want him to do crit heals. I wanted him to be fast. Crit damage is not required. Resistance is required if you can have it, and for accuracy is not required. This is just my base accuracy from my Great Hall, 80. So that's my build. I hope you can find this build useful. If you have any questions about it, ask or join the Discord and I'll get back to you. Now let's take Apothecary into the dungeons and show where he really shines. For your clan boss, for beginner players, he will help you as your support champion who will help you run the clan boss to complete all these 3-star levels. If you're a new player who is looking for where can I get the speed artifacts, this is the best place to get speed artifacts for Apothecary. Don't think you can go into the dragon and run dragon 10, dragon 11 and get good speed artifacts the first time. No, you're better off coming in here and slaying this. Let me put Apothecary in the lead. You're better off coming in here, slaying these champions and getting the base speed artifacts you need to at least, do other parts of the game. So I hope by now you have a speed farmer who can run campaigns fast for you. But if you don't, Apothecary is somebody who can really make sure you don't die when the champions take a turn. Let's see, do we get anything? No. But you have to really run these stages a lot before you get the speed artifacts you need to build your Apothecary. Don't go to dragon early game to look for those speed artifacts. You will really not get them. So that's where his job in the campaign. He can be the second healer or speed champion. Now, where he really shines is dungeon waves. So if you take him to the dungeon and run dragon 20, I currently have an OP team right here. If I should rebuild it right now and make sure Apothecary is in there, somebody like this. Take this out. How is this looking? This is not ideal. Who else can I bring in? Oh yeah, poisoner. Almost forgot. So with a team like this, Apothecary doing the heals, my frozen banshee doing the poisons, and my turn meter and revive champions doing their thing. I always bring in Big Gun to make sure the runs don't take too long. Big Gun just smashes everything. So by now, I hope you really have a nuka. Beginner players already have their ATL and their Chaos who they build as maximum damage to do this role of a nuka in these runs. So it's fine. It might take you a little longer, but they still get the job done. Apothecary makes sure your nukas take a turn faster and decrease defense in terms of I almost died right there. You can bring in Frozen Banshee as your poisoner, of course. War Maiden is one I was thinking of for decrease defense early game if you do not have Tyrell, who I have right there. You see the heal that Apothecary just did? Putting my big gun back in the game. He almost went down. I'll fast forward this part and let's get to the end because we don't want to watch all this. Alright, this is the end of the run. As you can see, Apothecary just is keeping everybody top in terms of his heals, and Frenzy Banshee is just doing the damage with the poison. That's all you need. And Tyrell is there for the decreased defense and decreased attack to make sure the boss doesn't just nuke us all down. And that's the way the cookie crumbles. Boom. If you're still late game thinking of Dragon 21 to 25, Apothecary might not be what you need. You really need a lot of champions who can do stun, who can make sure those champions, those enemies don't take turn before you. And Apothecary really doesn't shine in 21 to 25 stages. By then, people have legendaries and epics who can do better than Apothecary. So that's why I showed you Dragon 21 run, which is more realistic for a lot of people who will need Apothecary to be built for these reasons. For Fire Knights, which is not an early game, I would not advise anybody who is playing early game to actually go farming the Fire Knight. But because Apothecary has a 3-hitter A1, he's a good candidate for Fire Knight who will make sure that the waves don't take you down before you get to the boss. So I'm not going to show that run, but let's take a look at a clan boss team that you might build for early game, normal or hard or brutal clan boss, which involves Apothecary. So you don't have Ryzen, I know you don't have this, but I'll put Frozen Banshee. I'm using a rare because I know by now a lot of people have rares. A decrease difference, decrease attack. I'll take this out. Who else can I bring into this clan boss run who is a little bit reasonable that can be obtained by early game players? I don't have a KO, so I'll put this as the lead because of increased defense, and that's what my clan boss run will look like. I don't know who else to join except maybe this. I didn't want to bring a Skull Crusher because I know how hard it is for people to obtain a Skull Crusher. I'm not going to do the runs because it's going to take a while, but that's what you're looking at early game clan boss runs for normal, hard, brutal. For Nightmare, don't even think about bringing Apothecary. By the time you even get to brutal, Apothecary might begin to, not serve you well. So that's what I wanted to show. Now for Arena, which is where a lot of people will use this champion. Let's see. Can I even beat this team? You need a speed lead. I'm gonna use my let's make it fair. Let's make it fair. Where is he? Gogorab, Apothecary. With this, if you can be the first person to go, then your decreased defense can now go and you now nuke them. Let's see who goes first. Apothecary is there for the speed and the heals, but if we can be faster than them, we don't need heals. We are just there for the turn meter increase and for the increased speed that will be placed. Let's see who goes first. They did. They went first. No. I'm dead. Remember, this is gold 4, so it's gonna be teams that are really, really fast. If you're in gold 1 or if you're in silver or bronze, this team will serve well. Just a speed lead. I don't think I'll find any easier team, or unless I go with my main champion, and instead of decreased defense, I make sure they don't take a turn. I know that is a speed tune team. What happened is I moved all my speed gear from my Gogorab to my Arbiter. So you see, that's why my Arbiter is that fast, and that's why I went first this time. So my Gogorab is not fast anymore. My Arbiter is now the fastest person I have on the team. So that's how you beat it. Apothecary was there just for the speed. A lot of people who are beginner players will need him. For Faction Wars, since you already built him for account progression, he will do a lot of good for your Faction War runs. Let's take a look at the Faction Wars for, where is it? High Elves. It's not open, but you see how I completed my High Elves crypt, 63. It's because I got Apothecary, I got the Arbiter and other damage dealers in this crypt. That's why it's complete. It's one of the first ones that are easy to complete because of the champions. They are easy to obtain and build fast. so that's why. So you've seen the dungeon. Faction Wars is easy. Clan boss for Doom Tower is more of an end game, but for normal Doom Tower, Apothecary will take you through the wave just like you do in dungeons. It's no different. The bosses are just a little bit annoying, and you have to build specially for them. So I don't think there's anything else that I'm missing. Let's do a rating and see how people are rating this champion. There's a reason he's known as one of the best rares in the game. For Clan Boss, see 4.8. Definitely I'm giving him a 4 because he doesn't go he doesn't go above Nightmare. So let's do a 3. If he goes above Nightmare, it will be a 4 or a 5, but he's not that good for other stages. Fire Knight, definitely a 4 because of the 3-hitter A1. He doesn't go above Fire Knight's levels 21 to 25, I think, because by then you have Allure and Frozen Banshee. And Cold Heart, who can do a lot of turn-meter reduction. You just need those 2 people, and then you don't need anybody else with a 3-hitter A1. For the arena offense, yes, you need him as a speed lead up to silver. Campaign locations, you need him as somebody who can keep your damage dealer alive. Minotaur grind, of course, he doesn't really bring much there, but he's gonna keep everybody alive. Dragon Slayer, yes, he shines because those champions can take you down. Arena defense, the same thing. Spider's Den, why would you rate him 3 in Spider's Den? He keeps everybody alive though. I'm giving him a 4. Spiders 1 to 20. Apothecary is there for the revives and for the heals and the speeds. Else the spider will take the turn before you. Ice Golem, I'm giving him a 4. He's one of the best rares in the game, and I still have him in my team despite all the legendaries I have. I'm not gonna feed him or use him as leave him in the vault. He's still out of the vault. Spirit keeps revive and heal. I keep saying revive. It's a heal, not a revive. Void keep, yes. He's at 4.8 because a lot of people are rating him 5. I'm not giving him 5 because he doesn't, do a full heal or something. Force keep. Oh, he's negative affinity for force keep. Let's do a 3. Negative affinity. Faction Wars, definitely. He's one of the person who helped me complete Faction Wars. So that's my rating for Apothecary. You can only rate each champion once per day. Submit? Yes, submit. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed this video. My name is Brix5D. If there's any other champion you need me to review or show my builds on, let me know. For total stats, like I showed you, he's 259, while my main arbiter right now is 313. You see, so this is the amount of speed that Apothecary used to have, or my Gogorab used to have, for them to do their work efficiently. They need to be really, really fast. Beginner players, I told you how to get your speed artifacts. Tonight, a dungeon dragon event is currently going on. I'm going to start my dragon runs at dragon 24 and leave it running till the morning. That is how I get this speed artifact. There's no other way. If you don't run these dungeons, you will not get those speed artifacts that does triple rolls and double rolls for you to use on these champions that we're talking about. Hope you guys like this video. I'm trying to do these champion guides to fill up the index for my videos on this channel. Hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.